Yo, what going on YouTube? It's your boy TBLtotheworld. You done know, back again with another video. And in this video, man, I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a positive message. For those of you that saw the video that I put on my body, I kind of brought you up to speed on, the crazy ending of 2025 I've had and the crazy start of 2026. It's been nothing but a roller coaster, just bam, 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 one thing after the next. And also, I was talking to my homeboy, man, and he had told me this crazy story about, he's an entrepreneur. He owned a couple businesses. Man, this man I get drug in Colombia, yo. He was out there doing some business. These guys drug him and his friend. They steal his wallet, his phone, went into his bank account, raid all his money. I tell him about $20,000, $30,000. Businesses just I get, they were taking hits after hits, just bam, bam, bam. And he was down for a while, man, and he was really depressed. I listened to his story, and he had to pick himself up, get himself by the bootstraps, and just get back into the thick of things, and really get back on the pony, and just handle business. And like I said, I had a crazy rough start, man. My uncle dead. A lot of things been going on. You know what I mean? Even right now, he's speaking to you. I have a big hole in the side of my face because they had to do some surgery and extract my tooth. I'm having a hard time speaking, so if you hear me slowing, just know that I ain't crazy amounts of pain right now. I hear trying not to take too much of this ibuprofen. Just try and get this content going. Like I said, the whole point of this video is to just try and give you some encouragement. As men, right? Especially ambitious men and people that are driven and, we have goals and we focused on accomplishing all of these things in our life. Life happens. Sometimes it'll feel like when it rains, it pours. One thing happens after the next, and then bam, 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 things just keep happening back to back, and it's almost like you feel like you can't catch a break. And it can make you feel down. It can make you feel depressed. It can make you feel like, there's no end in sight. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. I just want to say to you, listen, in my life, I have experienced so much crazy stuff back to back to back to back. On one hand, right, I understand that there's a lot of things that happen to us in life that could be prevented or avoided. It's because of our choices. And on the other hand, there's a lot of things that's completely out of our control. Now, on the first hand, in my own life, I have experienced so many things that if I had just made better choices, I wouldn't have even been in that situation to begin with. And it took me experiencing it, right? Having overcome it, and then being able to look back in hindsight to learn from the experience and try not to make that same mistake again. That's actually part of the way that I'm able to make these videos and, write a book and actually be able to give this type of advice, because I've experienced so much and had to learn from it the hard way. So one of the biggest takeaways with that is that you have to pay attention to your life. You have to pay attention to the choices and the decisions that you're making. Are the choices and decisions that you're making your life better, or are they making it worse? Especially when it comes to women. Are the women that you're allowing into your life causing you chaos? You have to really take a look at yourself. Really hold yourself accountable and say, am I making my life better, or am I making my life worse with the choices and decisions that I'm making? That's a big, important part of this whole process. That's a big, important part of becoming the best version of yourself. Sometimes we find ourselves where we might even self-sabotage on purpose, because what if we succeed? What if on the other side of this situation or opportunity is actually success, and now boom, here comes more responsibility. What if I can't handle it? There's a lot of different layers and mechanisms of self-doubt and fear and all kind of things that we experience as human beings. And sometimes it's just we have bad habits. Sometimes we just find ourselves in this habitual cycle of making the same bad choices over and over again, making the same bad decisions, hanging with the same bad friends, going after the wrong type of women for the wrong reasons. Sometimes you have to audit yourself. You have to look at my habits and say, am I making good choices? Am I making good decisions? Am I surrounding myself with the best people possible? Am I putting myself in the best rooms possible? I make a bunch of videos in the past about, the type of friends you have, the type of women you select. All of those things matter. The places you put yourself, the people you surround yourself with, the habits that you choose to indulge in or refuse to indulge in, those are the things that's going to determine your direction in life. Those are the things that you have a measure of control over and that you need to pay attention to. There's this book by Jordan Peterson called The 12 Rules to Life. As a matter of fact, let me go grab it. So this is the book by Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life and Antidote to Chaos. And I also want to plug in, this is my book, The Attraction Blueprint. But in the book, one of the things that he talks about is you have to treat yourself like someone that's important to you. And if you think about it, we have this tendency where we take care of our kids or our nieces or our nephews or our friends or our girlfriends or whatever. But when it comes to taking care of yourself, when it comes to making choices that's going to uplift you and put you in the best possible situation, sometimes we're negligent. Sometimes we don't even put that same level of thought and effort in. So you have to treat yourself like you're somebody that's important to you. And that includes who you surround yourself with, the women that you allow into your life, the habits that you indulge in or refuse to indulge in. Like I said, these are important things because these are things that you do, like I say, have a measure of control over. And if you can adjust, if you can make those adjustments for the better, for the positive, it's going to have a dramatic effect on the outcome of your life and the direction of your life. So that's a great place to start. And not just that, also how you treat your body, how you treat your mind, your negative self-talk. How do you speak about yourself? How do you present yourself to others? What do you eat? Do you work out? Do you take care of your body? Do you read great books like The Attraction Blueprint? Are you following the right channels on YouTube? Are you ingesting the right type of information? All of these things do affect you, for better or for worse, and you have a measure of control over. So it's really important that you at least start there. Start with the things that you can control, because once you start chipping away at the things that you can control, the rest of the world starts to feel better around you. Now, on the other side of things, there are oftentimes a lot of things that you cannot control. Things just happen. It seems like Murphy's Law. What can happen will happen. You know what I mean? Like I say, I've had a string of, my uncle passed away. I got stuck in same court. It's just things happening back to back to back to back why is all of this happening to me? I've tried my best to shift my perspective and my thinking from why are these things happening to me to why are these things happening for me. I know that sounds crazy, to be honest with you, but it has helped me a lot. Even with going to the gym, I don't like saying, man, I gotta go to the gym. Oh my gosh, I have to go to the gym. I like to say, I get to go to the gym. I get to do this thing. I get to do that thing. Because your perspective is going to shape and shift your thinking towards all of the things that you're going to encounter. Now, like I said, there's things that you just can't control. Stuff with your health sometimes happens. Sometimes you might be driving on the highway, minding your business, driving perfectly fine, obeying the street laws, and then wham, someone just come and lash you out of no place, completely total your car. A lot of the times we can't control these things. And sometimes it feels like things are happening back to back to back to back to back, non-stop. And it could bring you down. It could tear you down. It could make you feel depressed. It could make you feel like you're alone. And as men, we don't have the luxury of feeling like someone's going to show up to our rescue and someone's going to save us from our own situation. You could get lonely. And I'm not going to sit down here and pretend that whatever it is that you're going through is an easy situation, because it's probably not. You're watching this video probably feeling to yourself like, yo, it's never going to get better. I can tell you, speaking from my own personal experience, all of the hardest situations that I've been through in my life at the time, they felt like the hardest situation I'm ever going to go through. And I would get through it. I would get to the other side of it. And then some other hardship would happen later on in life that was harder than the previous situation. And I would feel like that's the hardest situation ever, and so forth and so forth. But I always got through. I always got through it. I always got to the other side of it. And usually when I got to the other side of it, I became a smarter person or a stronger person or a more capable person. I'm 40 years old now. I have 40 years of life experiences. I done travel the world. I done been all over the place. And when I tell you I done seen some stuff, I done been through some stuff that, in my opinion, I ain't even supposed to be here, to be honest with you. But here I am, still standing, you know what I mean? Able to make this content for you guys. And, it's not always easy. And it probably is not going to be easy. It's probably going to be extremely difficult. But if you could shift your perspective into understanding that whatever that is that's happening is happening to you in that moment, and it might be a long moment, it might be 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 years, who knows? You're going to get to whatever the other side of that is. And your perspective along the way is going to make or break you. And you're never really going to be the same either. Once you do get through it, you're never going to be the same person. You're not going to be that person that you were before you went through that situation. You're always going to be a different person. And sometimes there's really not much that you can do. And in those moments, all you could do is focus on the things that you can control. I can't remember exactly how it was phrased to me one time, but I heard someone say that there's like a trinity. There's these different components of your life that affect you, on different levels. Sometimes your emotions might be feeling down. Go focus on the physical. Get to the gym. Go work out. Go push some weight. Start doing things that can improve yourself. Make yourself feel better. And once you start to raise this is going to start to raise up. Sometimes you might be in a situation where you already kind of look good and feel good physically. You're kind of down still. Find something that's fulfilling. Find something that will give you some purpose. Maybe you're lacking in the purpose department. Maybe you're lacking in the finances department. Maybe that's an opportunity to try and get your hustle, try and get your grind, try and get some bread coming in. All of these things, like I said, you raise them up, they're going to raise up each other. Maybe your health in disarray. You're going through a tough time and you don't know when it will end and what the other side of it is. Sometimes the only thing that you can do is to focus on the other aspects of your life. Work on your relationships with your friends, your families, make those bonds stronger. Think about the things that made you happy and fulfilled you and do more of that. Sometimes it's just those little things that make all the difference. Sometimes there's never really a full fix to any one situation. You just can't give up. Sometimes these little differences make all the difference. And all you could do is the best that you can with what you got. You just don't give up. You never stop hustling. You never stop trying to be the best version of yourself. You live this life with the maximum amount of effort, with the maximum amount of experience, unapologetically, man. Just don't ever quit. It's like Rocky say, it ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and get back up. I don't want to sound corny, I don't want to sound cliche, but it is the fact of life. You are going to get hit, and you are going to get hit hard. Somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna get sick, money's gonna get lost, a girl's gonna leave you. These things are going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are. It don't matter if you're an A-list celebrity, multi-millionaire. These things are going to happen. How you show up and respond to these things and the perspective you allow yourself to have is going to make all the difference. These situations are not easy. They're not going to be easy. You could choose to let it break you and stop you, or you could choose to allow it to be the fuel that you need to try and get out of that situation as fast as possible, the best way that you can. It's like when you have fear or when you have anxiety, right, about something, or you're worried about the future, a lot of the time it's fear the unknown, Here's the thing. You're either right or you're wrong. All the things that you're afraid of could probably come true. But all of that time you spend stressing out about it, you're experiencing all of that pain and suffering then, and when it actually goes through. And let's say you are wrong, none of the stuff that you worried about actually ever happened. Then you experience all of that pain and suffering and fear for something that never happened. So you put yourself through all of that turmoil for nothing. So you're either right or you're wrong. You could either suffer twice or you could suffer for no reason. At the end of the day, that perspective shift, the effort that you put in, and how you stand up and show it through it all is going to make all the difference. It's a good book to check out. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules to Life. This isn't, I'm not getting paid to say this. I read the book. I think it's pretty good. And of course, the Attraction Blueprint available on Amazon. But books aside, I just wanted to give you some positive words. You have everything that you need in order to do everything that you have to do. Show up for yourself. Take care of yourself. Do the best you can with what you got. And even in the situations that seem impossible, just do whatever small thing that you can. Whatever small, even if it's micro small. Do whatever you can in those moments to make the best of it. That's all you could do. You have one life to live, man. And how you live it, how you react to it is going to be your choice. You have all the control and all the power. I don't want to sound preachy. I didn't want, I know this is a little bit different than getting the pum-pum and getting the number, but this is important because this is going to tie to your masculine frame. How you're able to show up for yourself and how you're able to show up for the people around you. And that includes the women in your life. You have to allow yourself to flow through life with a place of abundance and fearlessness, even in the scariest times. And it's okay to feel, I don't want this to get misconstrued and people say, oh, well, you telling men not to feel and they can't. No, you can feel whatever you gotta feel. I just saying, feel what you gotta feel, go through whatever you gotta go through, and show up for yourself anyway. Try and do the best you can with what you got, man. I hope in some way that this video was helpful. If you are going through a situation, man, feel free to reach out. I'm on all platforms, TBLtotheworld. And for now, until the next one, man, TBLtotheworld. Done now.
TBLtotheworld. Yeah, hear me now. TBL. Them can't stop way. Can't hold me down. Enough of them a pray for lightning shock way. And we see we lifeless on the ground, so we bring up.